At the beginning of the story, our main character explains how this world was created. As soon as the world came into existence, the gods were born. Because they were alone, the gods became very bored. That is why they created this world. Watching humans grow amused the gods, so they showered humanity with endless resources. As a result, within a short time, humans became as powerful as demigods. However, greedy humans failed to realize that this power was a blessing from the gods. Because of this, they started trying to become gods themselves. The god of destruction, who was responsible for eliminating humans, became furious after seeing human greed. To warn them, the gods sent many calamities, but humans still refused to change. Eventually, the gods completely wiped out humanity. After humanity was destroyed, the gods once again became bored. This time, the god of creation appeared and divided the world into 3 parts: heaven, the human world, and earth. All the low-level gods began living in heaven, while powerful cultivators lived in the human world. Earth was ignored because it was an empty, barren land. But humans made another massive mistake. The mortals living in the human world became so powerful that they learned how to reincarnate themselves. By doing this, they disrespected the cycle of life and death created by the gods, and began reincarnating on Earth according to their own will. They even started reincarnating the strongest humans from the era of the god of destruction. These powerful humans had only one goal: to become gods. They repeatedly challenged the god of creation and completely ignored the destiny created by heaven. The god of creation and the god of destruction were extremely kind, which is why they kept forgiving humans again and again. But due to human actions, humanity was ultimately destroyed once more. After 10,000 years, the gods became bored yet again. For their entertainment, they were forced to recreate humanity. This time, the god of the universe was created, and that is our main character, Roman. Roman realizes what is really happening. This world is like a TV show, and he is its host. His only job is to provide the gods with an amazing show. The system tells him that his previous life record was excellent, which is why he was chosen as the god of the universe. Roman says that within just 1 hour of entering this world, he has already become a god. His only mission is to entertain his viewers. He asks the system why the previous gods destroyed the world instead of fixing it, even though they were so powerful. The system replies that force is the best way to solve any problem. Roman disagrees. He says force is only used in fights. To control people, fear must exist in their hearts. In his previous life, he watched a show where it was said that only weak people use force. Powerful people get things done by instilling fear. Roman decides to follow the same philosophy. As he walks, people think he was crazy because he was talking to himself. Suddenly, a dragon appears and attacks everyone. People panic and shout that it is a 4th-ranked dragon and tell everyone to run. Roman says, "So what if it's a 4th-ranked dragon? Rankings don't matter. I'm number 1 in this world." He casually attacks the dragon, destroying 2 nearby mountains. The dragon is terrified and wonders who the real monster is. Roman says, "As I said before, fear can accomplish anything." The system reminds him that he said he wouldn't use force, but Roman replies that as long as people obey him, force isn't necessary. If he can't scare anyone despite having so much power, then what's the point of that power? He then heads toward his first destination, Liberty City. At the city gate, many people are entering. 2 men were talking about how profitable this trip has been and how fairies will sell well among the nobles. As Roman walks past, one of them asks if he's interested in slaves. For just 10 gold coins, he can buy any slave. These fairies were recently captured and include war prisoners and innocent villagers. Roman activates his divine eye and notices that slaves look dead inside. He thinks that slave hunters are truly disgusting people. The merchant offers him a rare product, an 11-winged fairy from the western continent for 1,000 gold coins. Roman starts to leave, shocking the merchant, who assumes Roman only looked rich. While walking away, Roman says that slave hunting is a disease in society. The system tells him that as the god of the universe, he could free all the slaves instantly. Roman responds that doing so would only cause more slave hunters to emerge. The problem must be destroyed from its roots. Roman enters the store. The shopkeeper assures him that the slaves are well-trained and will never escape. Roman asks if the slaves would leave if he told them to. The shopkeeper laughs and says that even if Roman told them to leave, they wouldn't. Roman asks if he can question a slave. He then asks her, "Do you want freedom?" The slave replies, "No, I don't want freedom." Roman asks, "Do you have a lover?" Hearing this, the slave was completely shocked. Roman continues, "So you don't want freedom? Do you want to live your entire life as a slave?" The slave replies, "I only want to be my master's slave, nothing else." Roman says, "All right, take me to the VIP room." The shopkeeper agrees and leads him there. Inside the VIP room, the shopkeeper says, "Please wait for a minute. I'll bring the VIP items for you. I'm sure you'll like them." Roman replies, "Fine, bring them quickly." Then Roman says, "Supreme God System, open immediately. I want to set some new rules for this world." The system responds, "Please specify which rule you want to add." Roman says, "This rule will apply to anyone below 5th rank. If a person of 5th rank or lower engages in slave hunting, a dark figure will suddenly appear in front of them. That figure will look exactly like them, but will be far more powerful. Before attacking, the shadow will give the slave hunter a warning." The system asks, "Why only those below 5th rank?" Roman replies, "Those above 5th rank are immortal. Do you really think immortals waste time hunting slaves? If the person doesn't stop after the first warning, the shadow will attack. It will continue attacking until the slave hunter either dies or completely abandons slave hunting." The system says, "The rule has been created. What actions should be classified as slave hunting?" Roman replies, "Any form of violence, threats, coercion, or forcing someone into slavery for money or favors will count. However, if someone willingly chooses to become a slave, ignore that case." The system confirms, "The rule is ready. Do you want to implement it?" As soon as Roman clicks yes, the rule is activated across the entire world. Moments later, the shopkeeper returns with several slaves. The system informs Roman that the rule has been activated worldwide. Suddenly, there was a knock on the VIP room door. Roman allows them to enter. The shopkeeper says, "Sir, these are the top 10 products I selected for you. You'll definitely like them, but please note that their prices are very high." Suddenly, a shadow appears behind the shopkeeper. Seeing it, the shopkeeper panics and asks Roman if he can see it too. Roman calmly replies that he can see it and asks if the store really has such weak security. The shopkeeper apologizes and says he has no idea where the shadow came from. Roman thinks to himself, "Interesting, my rule has already started working." As Roman walks toward the shadow, the shopkeeper warns him not to get closer. Roman responds, "I'm not in danger, you are." Suddenly, the wall breaks and a man crashes inside. Roman catches him before he hits the ground. The shopkeeper panics and says, "Captain Andre, how could this happen?" Roman asks who the man is. The shopkeeper explains that Captain Andre is the store's security captain and a powerful 2nd rank warrior. Captain Andre wonders who attacked him, thinking that the attacker looked exactly like him but was far stronger. At that moment, Captain Andre's own shadow appears. Andre tells the shopkeeper to let the customer leave because he cannot guarantee Roman's safety. Roman calmly replies, "Don't worry, no one in this world has been born who can harm me." Captain Andre then goes to fight the shadow. Their battle releases massive energy. Suddenly, the shadow launches a deadly attack, forcing Captain Andre to retreat back to Roman. Trembling, Captain Andre warns the shadow to stay away, but then he sees the shadow moving toward the slaves. The slaves panic, thinking they are about to be attacked. Instead, the shadow breaks all their chains. Captain Andre was shocked and asks what is happening. Roman explains, "These shadows don't want to kill anyone. They are here to free the slaves." Captain Andre nods and says he won't stop them. Outside, a man shouts for the slaves to be captured. Suddenly, his own shadow appears and violently attacks him. Crying, the man laments the loss of all his money. The fairy from earlier looks at Roman. Roman tells her, "Go home." Crying, she thanks him for helping her. Roman thinks, "Everything is going exactly according to my plan." Soon after, a woman named King Tion approaches Roman and says, "My lord, I finally found you." Later, Roman arrives at a tea house in Liberty City. He tells her that he already said she didn't need to follow him. King Tion replies, "I am your servant. I swore to follow only you, master." She begs him to let her stay by his side. Roman refuses, saying it's impossible. King Tion begins to cry, asking what she did wrong and promising to do anything he asks. Roman tells her to stand up and explains that he isn't abandoning her. He just doesn't want her following him because her personality is dangerous. She has a terrible temper and could destroy an entire country if provoked. King Tion protests, saying she isn't that short-tempered and insists on staying with him no matter what. Roman says, "I don't like talking much. You'll get bored." At that moment, King Tion suddenly grabs Roman. Roman says, "I understand now. You're after my body. Step back and stay away from me. If I keep you with me, even if not now, you'll definitely try to seduce me later." The system responds, King Tion doesn't have the courage to seduce you. At most, she'll only try to get closer to you. Roman replies, System, you know King Tion quite well. Then Roman says, Alright, King Tion, you may follow me, but only on one condition. You must stay quiet. Don't kneel down again, and don't call me master, or people will start suspecting something. King Tion replies, Alright master, I won't make that mistake again. In her mind, King Tion thinks, Master doesn't want me kneeling, that means I must already have a special place in his heart. Roman says, I wanted to eliminate slavery, but look, I've already gained a servant. The system replies, God of the universe, you can call her a follower. Roman then asks, as far as I know, there are 5 heavenly incarnates. Are the other ones similar to her? The system explains, not all heavenly incarnates are female. Out of the 5, King Tian, Yuming, and Kong Tian are female, while Huan Duan and Huang Tian are male. However, one thing is certain, all of them are extremely loyal to you. Roman says, that's going to be troublesome. How am I supposed to handle all of them? Roman then asks King Tian, tell me something. What do you think should happen to those who go against heaven? King Tian replies, those who oppose heaven are extremely greedy. Even in the first and second generations, their greed grew so intense that they started killing each other. Roman nods and says, you're absolutely right. The powerhouses of the second generation and the reincarnated elites of the first generation stole their own world's spiritual roots out of greed. Human greed truly has no limits. King Tian adds, that's why the first 2 worlds were destroyed. Gods, demons, and humans can all be wiped out, but supreme gods will never disappear. And Master, you are the supreme ruler of all 3 worlds, the god of the universe. Roman replies, that doesn't mean supreme gods are always invincible. In the first battle, the god of destruction was unstoppable. In the second era, humans evolved too rapidly. The god of creation was peaceful, yet still destroyed the world, because continuous battles were making humans stronger. Eventually, they would have found a way to kill the god of creation. That's why I'm here, to change everything. We have very little time and a lot to do. Roman opens the system and checks the rules he created. Everything is working smoothly, and slave hunting will soon be completely eradicated. King Tian asks, Master, may I ask a question? Roman replies, go ahead. She asks, you can grant unlimited wealth to anyone and destroy wrongdoers instantly. So why are you slowly eliminating slavery using shadows instead? Roman says, King Tian, you're being foolish. If I give everyone wealth, no one will work. The god of the universe exists to maintain balance, not to handle everything personally. I have plenty of experience managing matters like this. I don't need to directly interfere. This world will correct itself. I'll change the paths of all the gods. I'll do what they did and what they failed to do. Also, we can't erase good or evil completely. Where there is light, darkness will always exist. Do you understand? King Tian replies, yes, master. I understand everything. Roman thinks to himself, she's lying. Nothing ever gets through that thick head of hers. Suddenly, Roman notices a woman nearby and says, King Tian, watch closely. I have a perfect example for you. Don't cause trouble, so I'll hide you first. King Tian replies, Master, I've disappeared. How did you do that? Roman notices a man behind the woman trying to steal her money pouch. He warns her, young lady, listen carefully. Someone is stealing your wallet. You're busy giving money to others, but yours is about to be taken. The woman glares at the thief and strikes him down with a powerful blow. Roman says, young lady, your strength is impressive. She replies, thank you, young master, for the warning. Her name was Annie, a martial artist who has reached the peak of first rank. Annie introduces herself and asks Roman's name. Roman replies, my name is Roman. Annie thanks him again and says that without his help she would have been in serious trouble. Roman tells her it's nothing and advises her to be more careful next time. Annie says she has something to do and prepares to leave. Roman stops her and says, wait a moment, you're a hunter, right? I have a task for you. Roman thinks that if he wants complete information about this world, talking to a hunter would be the best choice. He gives Annie a large amount of gold coins and says, I want to go to the Western continent. Traveling alone is boring, so I need companions to talk to. Annie replies confidently, young Master Roman, don't worry, I'll safely escort you to the Western continent. King Tion interrupts, Master, if you want to talk, you can talk to me. Roman says, King Tion, calm down and stay hidden. When the time comes, you can come out, but if you speak now, you won't be coming with me to the Western continent. Later, Annie prepares a carriage and apologizes for taking some time. She explains that they booked a small carriage to avoid drawing attention. Roman says he doesn't mind. Annie then introduces her companions, who will travel with them. One is a first-rank mid-stage fighter named Auntie, and the other is a priest named Mary, who is at the early stage of first rank. Roman says, "It was really nice meeting all of you." At the same time, Roman thinks to himself, a priest, a martial artist, and a Taoist. This team's combination is truly amazing. After that, they all set off together. Roman asks, "Miss Mary, are you a nun from the Church of Light?" Mary replies, "Sir Roman, may the God of Light bless you." Roman thinks, so Miss Mary follows the God of Light. In the second generation, the God of Light only managed to reach the peak of the heavenly rank and never even got a chance to fight the God of Creation. Suddenly, Mary speaks up, "Mr. Roman, where are you looking?" Roman replies, "There's been a misunderstanding. I was just lost in thought." Hearing this, King Tion becomes visibly angry. Roman thinks, the first generation God of Light was killed by King Tion with her own hands. The system says King Tion has probably forgotten about it. In the first generation alone, she personally killed nearly 80 high-ranking gods. Auntie speaks up. These days, very few people hire companions just to talk. It seems young Master Roman has a lot of money, but no friends to talk to. Roman replies, "I do have companions, but they aren't very powerful. That's why I usually travel alone." Annie says, "Young Master Roman is extremely powerful. He doesn't need anyone." Auntie adds, "His strength feels incredible. Young Master Roman has hidden his aura so well that I can't sense it at all." At the same time, Roman's suppressed aura briefly leaks out and travels straight into the underworld. There, a woman bound in chains senses it and says, "That must be my master's aura." Roman thinks, "That's exactly why I suppress my aura. King Tion found me because of it. I don't want more heavenly incarnates tracking me down." Suddenly, Annie says, "Everyone, look outside." They see a group of slaves gathered outside Liberty City. Auntie asks, "What are all these people doing outside the city?" Mary says, "It looks like they don't have homes." Roman replies, "They're probably the slaves who were just freed. They have nowhere to go, so they've gathered outside Liberty City." Mary says, "Why did they run away from the city? It's very dangerous here." Annie explains, "Ever since the shadows helped them, they've had nowhere else to go. That's why they're living here as refugees." Auntie adds, "For slave traders, those shadows are a huge threat. No one knows how many slave traders have already been killed by them." Mary says, "According to the teachings, slavery is wrong, but what those shadows did was also wrong." Annie responds, "There's nothing wrong with it. If it were up to me, I would have killed those traitors myself." Roman asks, "What do you all think? Were the shadows right or wrong?" Annie and Mary both fall silent. Auntie finally speaks, "In my opinion, what they did was right. Slaves had no meaning in life. Their masters could kill them whenever they wanted. They had no control over their own lives. Yes, they're suffering temporarily, but soon they'll live free lives, whatever kind they choose and under their own control." Annie agrees, "You're right. The shadows did what I should have done." Mary counters, "But the shadows didn't save those slaves who had already been sold. God of Light, please save these people from their suffering." Roman replies, "Mary, what's the point of praying?" Mary asks, "Mr. Roman, what do you mean by that?" Roman says, "The God of Light doesn't even have enough power to save herself. How can she save anyone else?" Mary angrily replies, "What nonsense are you talking about? The God of Light is extremely powerful. She will soon free this world from all suffering." Roman responds calmly, "No, you're wrong. She can't." Annie steps in, "Mary, calm down. Young Master Roman must be joking. And young Master Roman, priests take their gods very seriously, so please don't take Mary's words to heart." Roman thinks, "I'm not wrong at all. The God of Light couldn't even save herself. How would she save you?" Auntie asks, "Young Master Roman, do you not believe in gods at all?" Roman replies, "Auntie, do you believe in gods?" Auntie says, "I believe gods exist, but I don't rely on them for every problem. I'd rather learn spells to protect myself. There's no guarantee prayers will even reach the gods." Annie adds, "I feel the same. Believing in yourself is better. Gods probably have many other things to do. If we don't fight for ourselves, no one else will." Roman says, "I like the way people think on the Eastern continent." Mary argues, "You're all wrong. In the Eastern continent, many countries still perform living sacrifices just to make it rain." Roman asks, "Is that true, Brother Auntie? You're a Taoist? Why don't you just make it rain using spells?" Auntie laughs and replies, "Young Master Roman, you must be joking. Even a powerful 5th-ranked master can't make it rain for an entire country. That's impossible." Roman says, "A 3rd-ranked Taoist could create flying ice formations and place them in the clouds. Rain would naturally follow. Don't tell me your country doesn't even have a 3rd-ranked Taoist." Auntie was shocked. If ice enters the clouds, then rain would occur. Mary and Annie burst out laughing. Annie laughs. Ice goes into clouds and it rains? That sounds completely unrealistic. King Tion gets furious and thinks, how dare they laugh at Master? I'll kill them all right now. Roman quickly says, calm down. There's no point arguing with fools. They clearly know nothing about physics, probably because Newton hasn't been born yet. Roman accidentally touches King Tion's basketball, causing her to blush intensely. Roman thinks, what happened? Why did she suddenly go quiet? King Tion whispers, Master, it seems you're thinking the same thing I am. Roman panics internally and thinks, I need to protect myself. He immediately creates a rule that King Tion is not allowed to approach him at night. Soon after, Auntie uses magic to light a fire as the group settles down. Auntie says, traveling at night can be very dangerous, so we'll stay here for now. Young Master Roman, please rest. We'll take turns keeping watch. Roman replies, all right, I understand. At the same time, Roman checks the system and thinks, there are 3 third-rank magical beasts nearby, and a large number of low-rank beasts as well. If I weren't here and they were attacked, none of them would survive. King Tion says, Master, I've thoroughly checked the surrounding area. There's an undead army moving in from the southwest. What should I do? Roman replies, you don't need to do anything. I'm going to sleep. Just stay alert. We then see King Tion getting excited as she says, good night, Master. This is going to be fun. Suddenly, a wooden token hits King Tion on the head. She looks at it and asks, what is this? Written on the token is, you are not allowed to approach Roman at night. If you do anything, it will be at your own risk. King Tion starts crying and says, Master, why did you do this? Later that night, Annie and Auntie were talking. Annie says, Auntie, I'm pregnant. Soon we'll go home and tell our parents. Auntie replies, all right, once this mission is over, we'll get married. Roman thinks, so that's what was really going on between them. Suddenly, Auntie looks shocked and shouts, everyone, wake up! A huge danger is approaching. Annie also panics and says, we're being attacked by undead. Roman asks the system, isn't there a cycle of reincarnation in this world? Don't you think the number of undead has grown too large? The system replies, the cycle of reincarnation exists, but it has already been broken. Roman says angrily, system, can you do anything properly? The cycle of reincarnation is extremely important, yet you didn't even bother telling me it was broken. The system explains, during the first generation, the god of destruction personally maintained the reincarnation system. However, by the end of that era, 2 beings became extremely powerful. Both reached the supreme heavenly king rank. One was the Ghost Emperor and the other was Yuan Xuan. They completely destroyed the cycle of reincarnation. Roman asks, if they were that powerful, why didn't they attack heaven? The system replies, they did break heaven's barrier during the first generation, but the universe's chaotic energy caused massive disasters across the main continent. Roman says, I understand now. The god of destruction relied only on force, but force cannot solve problems. It can only eliminate enemies. The undead general suddenly speaks, interesting, we finally found humans. Annie says nervously, these undead can actually talk? Mary trembles and says, Mr. Roman, please forgive us, but we're going to die here. There's a 3rd-rank necromancer among them. She falls to her knees and cries, gods do exist. The god of light will definitely save us. God of light, please protect us. Roman says coldly, I don't like seeing people kneel. I'll solve this problem my own way. He looks at the undead and says, listen carefully. You seem intelligent. Tell me, do you really want to fight me? As Roman releases his aura, all the undead tremble in fear. However, undead soldiers still charge forward. Roman says, those without intelligence act purely on instinct. King Tion says, Master, don't worry, I'll handle them. But suddenly, the undead soldiers were annihilated by a terrifying attack. The undead general shouts, he's too powerful. Don't attack him. Roman replies, good. You understand that before absolute power, everyone must bow. You knew that fighting me would wipe out your entire lineage, so you sacrificed your own soldiers instead. The system adds, technically, they're not dead. They're undead, so no matter how much damage they take, they won't truly die. Roman says, all right, don't worry. I'll fix the cycle of reincarnation soon. The undead general orders, don't attack the strong ones. Kill the weak instead. All the undead rush forward, using their techniques to attack. Roman declares, I hired these people to talk with me. Until their mission is complete, no one is allowed to touch them, because the god of the universe is with them. Roman stomps the ground violently. The earth shatters for miles, and all the undead sink into the ground. The undead general thinks in shock. What kind of strength is this? I've never felt power like this before. At the same time, Annie, Auntie, and Mary all realize just how terrifyingly powerful Roman is. The system says, "Didn't you say you wouldn't use force?" Roman replies, "Force can't solve problems, but it can solve enemies. Now listen carefully. If you're their leader, come out immediately." A woman steps forward and says, "My name is Ymir. I'm a member of the Church of Necromancy. Please forgive me for disturbing you. This was my grave mistake." Roman replies awkwardly, "It's fine. You're very polite." King Tion thinks, "Master, I know exactly what you're looking at, and what exactly seems polite about her." Roman says, "I never do things without reason. This isn't anyone's private territory. Anyone can come here. But remember this, not everyone you meet will be kind." Ymir bows and says, "Thank you for sparing me, young master. I understand. This will never happen again." Ymir says, "Everyone, be silent and make way for the young master." We then see all 100 soldiers kneel to the side. Auntie says, "I had never thought a third-rank Death Knight and a third-rank Necromancer would bow before me." Annie replies, "You are right. It feels more like a dream." Meanwhile, Auntie was thinking, just how powerful is Mr. Roman? I am absolutely sure that Mr. Roman still hasn't revealed his full strength. Meanwhile, Mary looks extremely worried and says, "Mr. Roman, you can't just let these people go. They're undead. If you allow them to leave, many innocent people will die at their hands." Roman asks calmly, "Then what do you think I should do?" Mary replies, "You're far stronger than all of them. Kill every undead here. None of them deserve to live. They're evil. By killing them, you'll bring justice to the world. The entire world will remember you as a hero." Roman pushes Mary aside and says, "So what you're saying is that because I'm stronger, I should kill them? Are you really a follower of the God of Light?" Mary was completely shocked and says, "Mr. Roman, what are you saying?" Roman continues, "In the eyes of the God of Light, these beings are simply creatures that dislike sunlight. Their path may be different, but that doesn't make them evil. In this world, everything should be equal, no matter the race or who they worship. When you were weak, you prayed desperately to the God of Light to survive. But the moment you realized you were stronger, you wanted to destroy others. What's the difference between you and them?" Annie asks, "Young Master Roman, do you know the God of Light?" Roman replies casually, "What kind of joke is that? How would I know the God of Light?" Annie nods and says, "You're right. I guess I was overthinking." Roman thinks to himself, "The God of Light is only at the heavenly rank. She doesn't even have the qualifications to perceive me." Auntie says, "Young Master Roman, thank you for helping us." Annie adds, "You protected us, so we should repay you." Roman replies, "Don't worry about it. You can keep the money. I don't need it. Talking with you all was enjoyable, and I learned many new things." After that, Roman removes the restriction he placed on King Tion and adds a rule regarding religious belief. Roman says, "All right, I still have many things to do, so this is goodbye. And one more thing. Gods do exist. But in my eyes, gods are simply beings far stronger than ordinary people. If any of you reach that level, the world will call you a god as well." Roman then leaves. Annie says softly, "Young Master Roman, he really is a god." Auntie agrees, "I think so too." Mary wonders aloud, "Is he stronger than the God of Light?" The scene shifts. We see that King Tion and Roman have arrived somewhere else. King Tion asks, "Master, I don't understand. Why did you save those weak mortals?" Roman replies, "Mortals will become the greatest contributors to solving the world's problems. Their changes may be small, but their impact will be enormous. Remember this, these 3 worlds are under my control." King Tion says, "Understood, Master. I won't question you again." She then asks, "So, where are we going now?" Roman replies, "Next we're going to Hell." The scene shifts. A loud explosion echoes as Roman and King Tion arrive in Hell. The system explains, "This is Hell, one of the 3 great realms. This is where death and reincarnation take place." Roman says, "I see, but I'm detecting only undeads here." King Tion says eagerly, "Seeing all of them must be annoying. I'll wipe them out instantly." Roman stops her and says, "Wait, they're all mindless undead. There's no point wasting time on them." King Tion replies, "I'll do whatever you command, Master." The system asks, "Why aren't you attacking them?" Roman answers, "The existence of undead also falls under the authority of the God of the universe. They're no different from any other race. Because the cycle of reincarnation is broken, these beings have become walking corpses. They soon arrive before the cycle of reincarnation." King Tion asks, "Master, what should we do now?" Roman says, "There's nothing to discuss. We're going to repair the cycle of reincarnation." The system warns, "God of universe, please wait." You can repair it, but it will consume an enormous amount of power and leave you severely weakened. Roman asks, how weak are we talking? The system replies, you could still handle a peak heavenly rank opponent once, but a second attack could seriously injure you. Roman scoffs, you call that weak? Do you even understand what weak means? The system adds, if you're disturbed while recreating the cycle, the process will fail. Roman says seriously, that could be a major problem. He then turns to King Tion and says, only you can help me now. Hearing this, King Tion blushes deeply. Energy begins pouring out of her body. Roman says, King Tion, lend me your power. Together, we'll recreate the cycle of reincarnation. A powerful barrier forms around them. Roman declares, begin reconstruction of the cycle of reincarnation. Suddenly, a hand emerges from the depths of hell. A skeleton fixes her head and says, what kind of energy is this? As far as I know, my reincarnation time hasn't arrived yet, so what's happening to the cycle of reincarnation? This skeleton was the Ghost Emperor, a supreme heavenly king rank existence. Seeing the cycle being restored, the Ghost Emperor was shocked. She says, another supreme god has appeared and is repairing the cycle of reincarnation. I remember that Yuan Xuan and I fought over its power. In the end, we each took half, completely breaking the cycle. Both the god of destruction and the god of creation knew the cycle was broken, yet neither repaired it. Every supreme god ignored hell, so why is this god restoring it now? The previous supreme gods were one male and one female. Then who exactly is this new supreme god? She clenches her fists and thinks, no matter his intentions, how dare he reveal such a weakness, while I'm still here? At the same time, voices echo around her. What am I doing here? I was protecting my palace. Why have we turned into skeletons? The Ghost Emperor thinks to herself, all these undead are regaining their intelligence. That's incredible. This means the new supreme god is extremely powerful. If I act recklessly, I might even be destroyed. Besides, many people are about to reincarnate. If they end up fighting among themselves, my chances of success will increase. And restoring the cycle of reincarnation will benefit everyone. For now, this emperor will let things be. Enjoy yourselves. Next, we see many powerful creatures of hell gathering together. King Tion says, Master, it looks like a lot of trash has shown up. Roman replies calmly, there's no need to worry. I already have my own plans. You just stand quietly here. After that, one of Roman's clones steps forward. Roman says, my clone alone is more than enough to handle all of them. King Tion replies, Master, you didn't need to do anything. I could have wiped them all out myself. Roman responds, I have my reasons for doing this. He then thinks, if I had let you loose, you would have destroyed all of hell, and repairing the cycle of reincarnation would have been pointless. The clone speaks, you have two choices. Leave right now or come closer and die by my hands. Hearing this, all the creatures become furious and shout, you've got a lot of nerve, but you don't understand the true power of hell. Against so many powerful beings, you won't survive. Roman says, you're all truly greedy. Now I understand why both the god of destruction and the god of creation destroyed the world. But it doesn't matter. I have plenty of time. I can play with you. The creatures launch their attacks, but Roman's clone easily dodges them. Suddenly, another creature appears behind him and uses magic to increase gravity 100-fold. This creature was Oji at the early stage of the heavenly rank. During the Second Era, he died while protecting his kingdom. By using his magical power, he reactivated his consciousness. Due to the massive gravity, Roman's clone landed on the ground. Roman says calmly, gravitational magic. Impressive. If I were a normal human, you might have succeeded. But I am the god of the universe. Your magic doesn't work on me. At that moment, a rat-like monster appears. His name was Slaughter, a mid-stage heavenly rank expert. He was a famous assassin of the rat race in the First Era, known for his incredible speed and assassination skills. Slaughter prepares a sneak attack on the real Roman, thinking, this is my chance. King Tion warns, Master, there's a sneak attack coming. Roman replies calmly, no need to panic. No one can do anything. A clone of the god of the universe is no joke. In the next instant, the clone appears behind Slaughter, grabs his head and slams him into the ground. Roman says coldly, you don't know how to behave in front of the god of the universe. The remaining creatures shout, he's only one person. If we attack together, he won't be able to stop us. The clone replies, greedy people like you won't understand. I'll show you what absolute power really is. As the clone releases his power, all the creatures feel immense suppression. Roman commands, kneel. All of them are forced to drop to their knees, terrified, shouting, what's happening? Why can't we move? Two powerful creatures watch from the side and think, Just his aura alone is suppressing top experts. His strength is truly terrifying. At that moment, a man rises from deep underground and says, "Interesting. It's been a long time since someone this fascinating appeared. Let me test how strong you really are." This man was Wang Hai, a skeleton knight. Everyone was shocked. What is Wang Hai doing here? In the first era, Wang Hai was the strongest dragon rider of the eastern region. Even after death, his speed remained unmatched, and he became a skeleton knight. His strength is at least at the peak of the heavenly rank, making him one of the strongest beings in hell. Wang Hai declares, "You won't survive against me. I'll kill you." The clone replies, "No matter how hard you try, you're nothing in front of me." Wang Hai begins absorbing the power of all nearby creatures. Others exclaim, "His energy is terrifying. Even as a skeleton knight, he's this strong. Imagine how powerful he was when alive." Wang Hai launches a devastating attack, but the clone counters with a single punch. With just one punch, Wang Hai was completely annihilated. Everyone was stunned. How is this possible? Wang Hai was incredibly strong, yet he was defeated in one punch. The clone then turns his attention to three remaining figures. Hao, an Eastern totem at the mid-stage heavenly rank, badly injured. Gu Lao, an ancient ancestor of the second era, at the mid-stage heavenly rank. Daisy, a necromancer of the third era, at the early stage heavenly rank. The clone says, "Interesting. There are still more of you." He approaches them and asks, "Tell me, do you want to fight?" Terrified, they reply, "We don't have the courage to fight. We just want to know who you are and why you're here." The clone responds, "No need to worry. You'll find out very soon." Suddenly, a brilliant light erupts. Daisy says, "This power is incredibly mysterious. I can't comprehend it." Gulao says, "All spirits are moving toward the afterlife. Someone has manipulated the law of reincarnation." Hao replies, "It hasn't been manipulated. This is the true law of reincarnation." Daisy says, "It seems the cycle of reincarnation has been recreated." The clone says, "You won't have to wait long. The truth will soon be revealed." Light pours out from the cycle of reincarnation, restoring life to countless beings. People cheer, "Amazing! We're reincarnating." Roman says, "Finally, the cycle of reincarnation has been fully restored. Now everything in hell will function properly again." A short while later, the Ghost Emperor emerges and says, "So this truly was the supreme god of the third era. He revived the entire hell so easily. I should truly thank this supreme god. I don't know who he is, but because of him, the Ghost Empress can return to the world." Daisy adds, "All undead souls have been fully restored." Gulao says, "Normally, once a soul disappears, no matter how powerful the expert was, they cannot reform themselves, unless the supreme god personally appears before them." Suddenly, Roman's clone vanishes, and Roman and King Tion appear in front of everyone. Hao asks in shock, "Are you the supreme god?" King Tion angrily says, "How dare you question the identity of the supreme god?" Roman replies calmly, "King Tion, calm down." He then says, "You're right. I am the supreme god of the third era. My name is Roman, the god of the universe." Everyone gasps. "This is unbelievable. Are we dreaming? The god of the universe is really standing in front of us." Hao says, "I still remember the disaster of the second era. I never want to experience such a catastrophe again." Roman replies, "Hao, I have a question for you. I can see that many powerful experts survive both the first and second eras. How did they survive those disasters?" Hao answers, "It was because of their inner worlds. If someone has enough resources inside their inner world, they can survive disasters for a very long time." Roman thinks, "So the powerful cultivators stored massive amounts of souls inside their small worlds and escaped after the disasters." Roman then asks, "Do you believe that if you all teamed up, you'd have enough power to defeat a supreme god?" Daisy replies, "During the second era, everyone was weak. Even so, there were at least 100 heavenly rank experts. We all attacked heaven together, but only around 10 survived." Hao then asks, "God of universe, may I ask why you destroyed the world?" Roman thinks, "Even if I tell them I was forcibly made the god of universe, none of them would believe me. The system says they won't understand that supreme gods change over time." Roman realizes he has to take the blame himself. He says, "There were many powerful people in your realm, but they went against heaven's laws. The power of law is not something anyone can control. None of the powerful experts wanted anyone else to obtain that power, so in the end, you all started fighting each other. The power of a supreme god is meant to be shared across the entire world, but some of you tried to monopolize it, which completely destroyed the balance." Roman adds, "Take Hell's cycle of reincarnation as an example. Yuan Xuan and the Ghost Emperor fought over its power. In the end, the power was split between them, breaking the cycle entirely. No one could reincarnate. At that point, I had no choice but to destroy the world. Otherwise, no one would have survived your greed. Daisy says remorsefully, in the past, we were obsessed with strength and ignored everything else. Because of us, the world suffered greatly. Roman replies, everyone in this world makes mistakes. What matters is learning from them and fixing them. Daisy and Gulao ask together, can we still fix our mistakes? Roman answers, I'll give you a chance. Join my team. All three of them were shocked. King Tion says, Master, these people are far too weak to join your team. Roman replies, this is my way of changing the world. Compared to us, they may be weak, but they are already among the strongest beings in the three realms. However, I must tell you something. The cycle of reincarnation is still incomplete. The cycle works by absorbing souls. Weak souls are absorbed directly, but powerful souls, those above the heavenly rank, cannot be absorbed due to insufficient power. In such cases, you will have to forcibly reincarnate those souls. Your profession will be called Ghostbursters. I've even chosen your team's name, Universal Hell. King Tion says excitedly, Master, that name is amazing. Roman asks, so, what's your decision? Will you join my team? Suddenly, everyone was shocked as King Tion releases her aura behind Roman. Daisy and Gulao say together, we will join. Roman replies, excellent. That makes me very happy. Hao says, I'll join too, but on one condition. King Tion angrily snaps, how dare you set conditions in front of the god of the universe? Roman stops her and says, calm down. Cooperation will help the Universal Hell team last longer. He looks at Hao and says, you want me to heal your injury, don't you? Hao turns around and says, this injury was caused by the divine wolf. Only the tree of life in the Elven forest can heal it. Roman replies, the Elven forest? Don't worry, I'll go there. I accept your request. You'll definitely be healed. Hao bows and says, thank you, Master. Roman adds, everything is settled, but I believe Universal Hell still needs a manager. King Tion says, Master, I have a recommendation. Yuming would be perfect to manage Universal Hell. Roman thinks, Yuming? Let's see who she is. Yuming is a heavenly defying rank expert at the peak level. This heavenly incarnate was created from Yuming's corpse. She was a top-tier expert of this world who was killed by the Frost Demon Emperor. Roman asks the system, can I revive Yuming? The system replies, a fragment of Yuming still exists within the body. Using that, you can revive her. The same applies to the other heavenly incarnates. Roman says, good. We'll revive Yuming first. Roman and King Tion leave together. King Tion asks, Master, may I ask something? You could have healed Hao's injury instantly, so why did you say you'd go to the Elven forest? Roman replies, things that come too easily aren't valued. That's why I chose this path. Soon, they arrive at a location. Roman says, this is where we'll find Yuming. They see Yuming bound by countless chains. Roman thinks, her body is still intact. She was sealed at the moment of death. The power inside her isn't inferior to King Tion's at all. The system says, among the 5 heavenly incarnates, King Tion is actually the weakest. Roman replies, then we shouldn't delay. An instruction appears. To revive a heavenly incarnate, you must transfer your origin of power. That power will be permanently lost and can never be recovered. Are you sure you want to revive Yuming? Roman thinks, if Yuming dies again, that power will be lost forever. I'll have to be careful. He decides, I'll only give her 1% of my power. As soon as Roman releases that power, terrifying energy erupts. Everyone feels the pressure and cries out, this is the pressure of the God of Universe. Is he going to destroy hell? Breathing alone has become difficult. The Ghost Emperor thinks to herself, what exactly is this Supreme God doing here? Could it be that he has discovered I'm still alive? At that moment, Roman tightly restrains the 1% power in his hand. King Tion asks in shock, Master, what was that just now? Roman replies, I released 1% of my power, but I lost control for a moment. That's why such terrifying energy leaked out. He thinks to himself, I had no idea that even 1% of my power would be this frightening. It seems I can achieve anything in this world. Roman then transfers that 1% power into Yuming's body. A brilliant light bursts forth and all the chains binding her shatter. Yuming opens her eyes and immediately sees Roman. She hugs him tightly and says emotionally, Master, I finally get to see you. You have no idea how long I've waited for this moment. King Tion quickly steps forward and says, Yuming, step back and speak properly to the master. Yuming regains her composure and says, I'm sorry, I got carried away by my emotions. King Tion replies, good, at least you know what you're supposed to do here. Yuming bows and says, Master, thank you for reviving me. I will never waste the power you've given me. Roman says, Yuming, I have a task for you. From today onward, you are the manager of the Universal Hell Team. Your responsibilities are simple. Make the Universal Hell Team stronger and ensure the safety of the cycle of reincarnation. Yuming replies firmly, Master, I will carry out my duties properly. The system comments, God of Universe, you gave her one task but assigned 2 jobs. Roman snaps back, stop talking nonsense. These tasks are related. Roman thinks, Yuming's personality is very different from King Tion's. The system adds, she's nothing like King Tion. She's not reckless at all. Roman replies, good. If she behaved like King Tion, it would cause me a lot of trouble. Yuming asks, Master, are you not staying in hell? King Tion answers, Master has many things to do. You focus on managing hell. Roman gently pats Yuming's head and says, you are one of my heavenly incarnates. You need to be confident. I've already restored the cycle of reincarnation. All you need to do is rule universal hell like an empress. Yuming replies, Master, I understand. She then turns to everyone and announces loudly, People of hell, listen carefully. I am the heavenly incarnate Yuming. From today onward, I am the head of the Universal Hell Team. The God of Universe has entrusted me with managing hell. Those skilled in craftsmanship will assist with construction. The undead will help with labor. Powerful undead will enter the human realm as spirits to guide souls. Anyone who disobeys my orders will be considered an enemy of the God of Universe. Roman smiles and says, Yuming is truly impressive. The system adds, when she was alive, Yuming was the leader of her clan. That's why she's so good at managing things. Roman replies, it looks like Universal Hell is in good hands. King Tion asks, Master, where are we going next? Roman answers, we're heading to the Elven Forest. The scene shifts to the Elven Forest. A group of people was transporting a cage filled with captives. 2 guards were talking among themselves. One guard says, this time the goods are top quality. After selling them, our bank balance will be overflowing. Just then, a voice interrupts them. Don't let your guard down. Until we leave this forest, we need to stay cautious. He was Sabi, the feared leader of the Earth Dragon Bandits, who was a 3rd-rank Earth Dragon Knight. The guards say confidently, Leader, you're extremely powerful. As long as you're here, no one would dare attack us. Suddenly, a shadow appears in front of them. The guards shout, who's blocking our path? Haven't you ever heard of the Earth Dragon Bandit group? That shadow then points toward the cage. Sabi sneers, so you've come to rob us? Looks like your courage has grown quite a bit. The shadow slowly pulls out an umbrella. Seeing this, the bandits laugh mockingly. What does this guy think he can do? Does he really believe he can defeat us? This fool doesn't even stand a chance. Suddenly, the shadow activates a formation. A terrifying dragon beast appears. Sabi panics inwardly. That's a 5th-rank divine dragon species. Fighting something like that is completely impossible for us. The captive elves cry out joyfully. We're saved. The great elven god has heard our prayers and sent a messenger to rescue us. However, an elf woman at the back thinks to herself, that can't be right. If this were the great elemental god's doing, angels would have been sent. But this is a shadow and a dragon. This can't be his work. Sabi says desperately, I don't care who you are or where you came from. If you want slaves, I can give you 2. The shadow replies calmly, no, I want all of them. 2 won't be enough. Sabi snaps angrily, stop talking nonsense. We worked extremely hard to capture them. Even if you're a 5th-rank divine dragon knight, you can't take us on like this. He adds mockingly, besides, my earth dragon has no bloodline restrictions. Your dragon looks fake anyway. Enough talk. Everyone attack. Before they can move, the Shadow's dragon launches a devastating attack. In a single strike, all the bandits are wiped out. Sabi was blown far away, completely shocked. Terrified, he shouts, don't come any closer, or you'll regret it. But the Shadow charges forward and delivers a powerful strike. Sabi thinks, no, it looks like I'm going to die. However, the attack lands on the cage, shattering it completely. The captives cry out, thank you so much for saving us. In a final attempt, Sabi rushes forward in desperation, yelling, you forced me to do this. I won't let you live. An elf warns, he's attacking from behind. Please be careful. But the Shadow calmly swings the umbrella backward, instantly killing Sabi. Dying, Sabi gasps, how is this possible? How did you know I was attacking from behind? The remaining bandits panic. The leader is dead, run. At that moment, the Elven tribe's soldiers arrive and attack the fleeing bandits. An elf soldier shouts, the 3rd Brigade has arrived. No elf will be harmed now. Another soldier says, look over there. That divine dragon knight saved our people. He's the one who defeated all the bandits. You damn human bandits, I'll sell you off like slaves. At that moment, the Shadow notices the elf soldier. He transforms into the shadow of elf soldier. Suddenly, the shadow elf soldier fires an arrow at the elf, killing him instantly. The elf captain orders everyone, prepare for battle. A female elf steps forward urgently and says, "Stop fighting." The elf captain demands, "What's going on? Why are you interfering?" The elf replies calmly, "The shadow didn't do anything wrong. I can see it clearly. He treats everyone fairly." The elf captain asks, "Fairly? What do you mean by that?" They see that the shadow has freed all the captives. The elf explains, "The shadow has one simple rule. Anyone involved in slave trading will be attacked, whether they're bandits or warriors. If you don't engage in slave trading, he won't attack you." The elf captain nods and says, "I understand. Everyone listen carefully. No one will take prisoners." The shadow then vanishes completely. The elf murmurs, "I don't know that stranger's name, but thank you for helping us." Elsewhere, Roman suddenly sneezes. King Tion asks with concern, "Master, are you all right?" Roman replies, "I don't know why, but it feels like someone just thanked me." They arrive at the location. King Tion says, "Master, it seems something happened here not long ago." Roman responds, "It looks like everything that happened here was because of my rules." Suddenly, members of the Universal Hell Team, Ghostbusters, appear. Souls begin to rise from the bandits' bodies. They command coldly, "Stop struggling and come with us." An elf watches in shock and asks, "Who are these people?" The elf captain replies, "Why are you still standing there? Let's go home." The elf thinks, "It feels like I saw something unbelievable today." Roman says calmly, "It seems the Universal Hell Team and the cycle of reincarnation are functioning perfectly." King Tion smiles and says, "Master, you're truly incredible. Everything you do turns out perfectly." Roman responds, all right. Stop flattering me. Now let's focus on why we came here. Our next destination is the Elven capital, City of Life, Krial." We then see the city guards speaking. "All the people who were rescued must clean the city. The elf race wasn't raised just to sit around doing nothing." The freed slaves reply, "All right, we'll work." Later, we see the elf girl sweeping the streets and thinking, "I've finally returned to Kyle City." Suddenly, a carriage arrives and stops nearby. Seeing this, she was shocked. Roman and King Tion step out of the carriage, both disguised as elves. Roman says, "Kyle City is filled with elves everywhere. Changing our appearance was the right choice. No one will recognize us." They see a noble walking past, saying, "These lower races have mined quite a lot of minerals." A maid replies, "Yes, just like before." They also notice many elves sitting on the roadside begging for money. Roman says, "I don't have an issue with nobles, but the gap between the rich and the poor in Kyle City is enormous. Such inequality is never a good thing." The system replies, "You are the god of universe. You can do anything. If you wanted, all the nobles could be wiped out." Roman snaps back, "Stop talking nonsense. Is killing people the only solution in your mind? If equality is to come, the people themselves must raise their voices. If a third party interferes, only the victim changes. True equality never comes." The system says, "Watching you, it feels like you're becoming an excellent supreme god." Roman responds, "System, are you complimenting me?" Roman then observes, "The world tree is in excellent condition. Does this have something to do with the god of elves?" The system answers, "You're absolutely right. The world tree and the god of elves are deeply connected." King Tion asks, "Master, do you want to meet the god of elves?" Roman replies, "Yes, I want to meet her." King Tion says casually, "All right then, I'll just burn down the world tree. That will definitely force her to appear." Roman panics. "Wait, have you lost your mind? I just want to talk to her. There's no need to fight." King Tion replies, "She was one of the rebels during the Second Era. There's nothing left to discuss." Roman flicks her forehead and says, "That's exactly why we need to talk. I need to know, why did the god of elves rebel in the first place? Always remember this. People who have more friends have fewer enemies. We should make as many allies as possible. It'll make our work easier." King Tion smiles, "Master, you're really clever." Suddenly someone shouts, "Everyone, move aside." We see a girl being carried in a palanquin. She yells, "Can't you hear me? Move out of the way. If you get killed, it won't be my responsibility." She was Elf Princess Yitia. Just before she crashes into Roman, he instantly teleports behind her. The system says, "That was Golden Elf Princess Yitia. She's at the middle stage of 3rd rank." Roman frowns and says, "The nobles have completely spoiled their children. Looks like I'll need to fix their behavior too. It's a good thing I'm calm, otherwise I would have slapped her and thrown her into the black domain already." Suddenly, someone rushes past Roman at high speed. Princess Yichia shouts, "Old man, get out of the way or I'll break every bone in your body." An elf pushes the old man aside. Princess Yichia adds, "Watch where you're going next time or you'll die." The elf girl helps the old man up and asks, "Sir, are you all right?" The old man replies, "Don't worry, I'm fine." The elf thinks elves were never like this before. The old man says kindly, "Child, thank you. May the mother goddess protect you." The elf replies, "Yes, the mother goddess will surely protect us." Roman murmurs, "In such a rotten society, kindness has become rare." The elf asks Roman, "Who are you?" Roman answers, "Just a passerby." Old man, "Was the princess always this rude?" The old man continues, "Not just the princess. Every noble is like this. An elf's fate is decided at birth. Golden elves and moon elves become royalty. Sea elves and forest elves are craftsmen. Gray and black elves are treated as the lowest." The elf girl protests, "That's not true. An elf's fate can't be decided by birth." The old man sighs, "It all depends on lifespan. Gray elves live only about 1,000 years, while golden elves live at least 5,000. The gods already decided their destinies. There's nothing we can do." Roman says, "Their lives are already incredibly long, yet they talk about 1,000 years like it's nothing." The system replies, "Elves live long, but very few are born. Heaven set this rule. The stronger someone is, the lower the chance they'll have children." Roman asks curiously, "Then will I be able to have a child?" The system replies, "That depends on you. You are the god of the universe. If you want a child, you will have one, and even others will have children if you wish." King Tion overhears this and blushes. "Master, so you finally want a child?" "Don't worry, King Tion has no objections. Just tell me, how many do you want?" Roman quickly interrupts. "Stop right there. That's not what I meant." The old man laughs. "Kids these days are full of energy." "Thank you, child. You helped me a lot. I have many things to do now." The elf wonders, "Why have all elves become like this?" Roman replies, "From your era to now, everything has changed. Miss Lutia, no, should I say, mother goddess of the elves. Am I right?" Suddenly, Lutia releases terrifying energy and demands, "Who are you? And what are you doing here?" Roman calmly replies, "Miss Lutia, you rebelled against the heavens. So how could you not recognize that the one standing before you is a supreme god?" Lutia snaps angrily, "Stop talking nonsense. I've seen the supreme god before. The god of creation was nothing like you." Roman replies calmly, "It seems I'll have to explain things properly. You're not going to understand this easily." He snaps his fingers, and a barrier instantly forms around them. Lutia was shocked. "In just an instant, all my power has been sealed." Roman asks, "Miss Lutia, do you believe me now? Do you finally understand who I am?" Lutia thinks in disbelief. "This man is unbelievably fast. When did he get so close to me?" She suddenly grabs Roman's arm thinking, "He's extremely powerful. I have to strike first." She prepares a devastating attack, but before she can move, King Tion steps in. King Tion shouts, "You trash! How dare you attack the master? Are you in a hurry to die?" Lutia was forced back. She thinks desperately, "My soul has only just stabilized. At best, my consciousness is barely at the peak of the 5th rank. They could kill me effortlessly. I need to escape." She activates spatial teleportation and vanishes. Roman says calmly, "A 5th rank elf magician. Rare in this world. If you were facing anyone else, you might have escaped, but this entire universe belongs to me. Where do you think you're running?" Lutia suddenly crashes into an invisible wall and falls to the ground. She panics. "Impossible. My teleportation magic isn't working at all." King Tion grabs her by the hair and sneers. "Got you at last, mother goddess. Where do you think you're going now?" Roman interrupts. "King Tion, let her go." King Tion protests. "Master, she's the mother goddess. She rebelled against the heavens during the 2nd era." Roman repeats firmly, "Let her go." Reluctantly, King Tion releases her. "Fine, master, I won't interfere." Roman says calmly, "You should understand by now that I am the supreme god. There's no need to be nervous. I only want to ask you a few questions." Lutia thinks, "Even if Fan Hao Tian were here, he wouldn't survive. I have no choice but to cooperate." She says aloud, "Fine, ask whatever you want." Roman nods. "Good. My first question, what is the rebels' plan?" Lutia answers honestly, "I don't know. I was part of the rebellion in the 2nd era, but I have no idea what plans they have in the 3rd era. Even Fan Hao Tian and the others never told me anything." King Tion loses patience and starts hitting her. "Master, she knows the truth but won't say it. Don't worry, I'll beat it out of her." Lutia screams, "Help! King Tion is a monster." Roman pulls King Tion back and says coldly, "Lutia, if you lie to me, things will get very difficult for you." Lutia replies quickly, "The elven gods aren't powerful enough within the rebellion. That's why we don't know the real plan." Roman nods. "Alright, second question. Why do you hate heaven so much?" Lutia laughs bitterly. "You're asking why I hate heaven. In the first era, I was a god born alongside the world tree. Together with it, my duty was to guide and protect the elves. Back then, the elves were happy and prosperous. But at the end of the first era, a terrifying disaster occurred, one I witnessed with my own eyes. I barely survived, and the world tree was reduced to a seed. She glares at Roman. And you're asking why I hate heaven? Do you really think that question makes sense? Roman says to the system. Do you see this? Because of the previous Supreme God's actions, resentment has filled everyone's hearts. The system replies, that's something the former Supreme God never considered. Roman continues, one last question. What matters most to you? Lutia answers without hesitation, protecting my people. Roman asks, you want to be their savior, but can you really do that? Lutia asks, what do you mean? Roman replies, words won't convince you. You need to see the truth yourself. Come with me. In the next moment, they teleport. They arrive at the Elven forest mine. Lutia looks around and asks, where are we? Roman answers, according to your people, this is an excellent place to create wealth. Suddenly, screams echo through the air. Lutia was shocked. She sees dark elves being whipped by guards. A guard shouts, why are your hands moving so slowly? If this shipment is delayed, you'll all be severely punished. Now get back to work. The guards begin beating the slaves mercilessly. Lutia was furious. How dare they treat their own people like this? Roman says coldly, my rules only prevent new slaves from being created. This is pure slavery, so the shadow doesn't appear here. Lutia thinks, that shadow must have appeared because of the Supreme God's new rules. When did the Supreme God become so righteous? She asks, if your goal is to save slaves, why not ban pure slavery too? Roman replies, you're misunderstanding something. Slaves include not only civilians, but also prisoners and criminals. Do you expect a shadow to appear every time to save criminals who threaten this world? I don't allow forced slavery, but the people being beaten, oppressed, and exploited here are victims of your own race's leaders. Don't push your responsibility onto me. If I handled everything, what would the Mother Goddess even do? Lutia shouts in frustration, you have the power to save everyone. Then why don't you fix everything yourself? Roman snaps, you're truly foolish. Think carefully. When the previous Supreme God tried to change everything, what did you all do? Why did the Earth realm become barren land? Why does heaven hold the most resources? Why was the cycle of reincarnation damaged so badly? Lutia shouts, that wasn't our fault. We just wanted to live better lives. Roman replies sharply, and to achieve that, you tried to steal the Supreme God's power. Now look at the Elven nobles. They're doing the same thing. If their own people suffer in the process, what difference does it make to them? Lutia shakes her head. No, that's not true. The Supreme God planned to absorb everyone's power and become stronger. Roman counters, by your logic, I should absorb everyone's power too. But the Supreme God's power comes from all living beings. If everyone died, the Supreme God would grow weaker, not stronger. So why did the Supreme God destroy the world instead of destroying rebels like you? Lutia was completely stunned. She screams, I don't know. I don't know anything. Roman says quietly, even if you don't know, there's something you do remember. Lutia looks and freezes in shock. What happens next will be revealed in the next episode. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned.